What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, smash that subscribe button, give this video a like, and share it with your people, because South African politics just got hit with another earthquake. The MK party is fuming, the Constitutional Court is standing firm, and President Cyril Ramaphosa, well, he's walking through the storm with that calm poker face, but for how long? Today, we unpack the MK party's scathing condemnation of the ConCourt's ruling and what it all means for the already tense political landscape in Mzansi. Buckle up, this isn't your regular update. This is the next chapter in the battle for South Africa's future. The Umkhonto we Sizwe party, better known as the MK party, isn't holding back anymore. Following the Constitutional Court's decision to dismiss its legal challenge against President Cyril Ramaphosa, the party erupted into a full-blown attack on the judiciary, claiming that the ruling wasn't just flawed, it was politically motivated. In their view, the ConCourt has essentially rubber-stamped what they describe as one of the most manipulated elections in democratic South African history. And if you think that's dramatic, wait till you hear what they said next. According to MK party spokespersons, the court's decision represents a blatant betrayal of the constitution itself. Instead of upholding democratic integrity, they argue, the judiciary has become a shield for those in power, specifically, Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC elites who have allegedly hijacked state institutions for their own survival. The MK party says it went to court not just for itself, but for the millions of South Africans who feel that their vote was stolen, their voices silenced, and their democracy mocked. Let's rewind a bit. The MK party filed a challenge alleging serious irregularities during the 2024 general elections, particularly related to the involvement of President Ramaphosa. Their key complaint centered around the IEC's handling of the process and the alleged abuse of state resources. They wanted Ramaphosa disqualified from participating, claiming his actions and conduct leading up to and during the elections were unconstitutional. But the Constitutional Court was having none of it. In a crisp and decisive ruling, the court dismissed the challenge, saying it lacked merit, failed to present substantial evidence, and amounted to a fishing expedition. Now here's where it gets wild. The MK party is not just rejecting the verdict, they're portraying it as proof that the judiciary is compromised. According to them, the Constitutional Court has become part of a broader regime protection unit designed to maintain the status quo, no matter the cost to democracy. They insist that the ruling shows the judiciary has picked a side, and it's not the side of the people. In their own words, South Africa is no longer a constitutional democracy but a captured state, where justice is reserved for the powerful and punishment for the powerless. Sound familiar? That's because this kind of rhetoric is straight out of Jacob Zuma's playbook, the MK party's de facto patron and former president who has waged his own war against the judiciary for years. Zuma's fingerprints are all over the MK party's defiance, and this recent court drama only adds fuel to the fire that's been burning ever since Zuma was barred from contesting the elections due to his criminal conviction. The MK party has always insisted that Zuma was unfairly targeted, and now, they see this ConCourt decision as part of that same vendetta. But what does all this mean for South Africa's fragile democracy? On one hand, you've got a court that's trying to assert legal finality in a highly contested environment. On the other, you've got a party with growing grassroots support in KZN and beyond, declaring war on the entire political establishment. And let's not forget, this isn't just rhetoric. The MK party has been mobilizing, gathering supporters, and openly challenging the legitimacy of both the ANC and the Government of National Unity. If their calls continue to grow louder, it could set the stage for mass protests, legal standoffs, or worse, an erosion of trust in South Africa's democratic institutions. Critics of the MK party say this is all theatre. They argue that the ConCourt followed due process, examined the evidence, and simply ruled based on law. No bias. No conspiracy. Just the rule of law in action. But the MK party isn't buying it. They say the very fact that their challenge was dismissed so quickly shows that the court had already made up its mind. According to them, if the court was truly independent, it would have at least allowed for a full hearing with witness testimonies and cross-examination. Instead, they argue, it was a political clean-up job dressed up as legal procedure. And let's talk optics. Ramaphosa, fresh off a controversial GNU formation and battling inflation, unemployment, and the chaos of coalition politics, gets to walk away with another victory. The court ruling hands him a lifeline at a moment when his legitimacy is being questioned not only by the MK party but by factions within his own ANC. The ConCourt just gave him breathing space, but in politics, oxygen can be both a blessing and a curse. With each legal win, Ramaphosa consolidates power, but also hardens the opposition. The MK party isn't retreating. If anything, they're doubling down. Their next steps? They've vowed to take their case to the people. That means mass mobilization, campaigns in townships, and possibly challenging the legitimacy of parliament itself. And in this volatile atmosphere, one small spark could ignite something much bigger. The MK party's anger is not just legal, it's emotional, political, and increasingly confrontational. One thing's for sure, South Africa's democracy is under stress. Whether you believe the Constitutional Court was right or wrong, what can't be ignored is the growing divide between the institutions meant to uphold democracy and the people who no longer trust them. The MK party represents that disillusionment. Right or wrong, they're tapping into a deep vein of frustration, and the ConCourt's ruling, far from ending the matter, might have just made things worse. So where does it go from here? Will Ramaphosa continue to survive wave after wave of political attacks, court cases, and populist assaults? Will the MK party translate its anger into real power, or just burn out in a blaze of revolutionary rhetoric? And most importantly, how long can South Africa hold itself together with so many forces pulling it apart? Stick around, folks, because the next few months could define the future of the Republic. And here on this channel, we'll be following it all, step by step. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments what you think. Is the MK party right to condemn the ConCourt? Or is this just sour grapes from a party that couldn't win in court and can't accept defeat? Let's talk about it. Until next time, stay alert, stay critical, and stay loud. South Africa is changing, and history doesn't wait for anyone.